Thanks for joining us here at 10. We are under a weather alert at this time. This is the largest snowstorm northeast Wisconsin has seen in 130 years. Some parts of the viewing area got more than 2 feet of snow in the last 2 days. Now let's get straight to meteorologist Gino Recchia for the latest on this historic blizzard. Gino.
Mo, good news is that the snowstorm is finally coming to an end. We still have the possibility of some blowing and drifting tonight and also a little light dusting of accumulation. But the blizzard warnings, the winter storm warnings, they have expired. They have been replaced for some of us under a winter weather advisory. But from Marquette to Sheboygan counties, you are not under any advisory for tonight. That advisory continues until tomorrow morning. Right now, the radar really has diminished the snowfall coverage over northeast Wisconsin. Sure, we got a few light snow showers passing through parts of Brown and Outagamie and Toshano County, but for the most part, we're kind of in a lull right now. There is a little bit of a batch of the snow, and these back-end snow showers, sometimes they just kind of move and drag in a weird direction, and sometimes just move in a weird way that perhaps it might move towards Green Bay during the overnight period. But the heavy snowfall right now is up towards northwest Wisconsin. Blizzard warnings for Douglas, Bayfield, and Ashland counties, where they could be seeing anywhere from 18 to 24 inches of snowfall. The snowfall total near 24 inches. We're just a half inch. This is the 7 o'clock observation. Not going to be reaching the top, but we did reach the top 3. Pretty impressive. The top 2 actually. Up to an inch of snowfall accumulation tonight. Might be seeing about a dusting throughout the day tomorrow. Now on top of that, we still have a flood warning, lakeshore flood warning for Oconto, Brown, Kewaunee, Door counties, and Manitowoc County for an advisory. We are concerned with some ice shoves possible, but for the most part, it looks like we'll be starting to wind down. I'll be talking about more of a calmer forecast coming up in just a bit.
All right, Gino, thank you. And this historic flood making a tough commute for drivers tonight all across the viewing area. Let's go to NBC 26's Max Grossfeld, who is live in Ashwaubenon with a look at those road conditions. Max.
Mo, let's not sugarcoat it here. The roads are still rough. Even though we've seen the snow dissipate and the plows have had a chance to clear some spots, most of the roadways are still covered in snow as far as we've seen. But plows have been doing a good job. A big thank you to them. And as the snow has dissipated, we've seen them come through and definitely at least get that snowpack a little lower. And we are starting to see even some parts of clear roadway. But if you don't have anywhere to go, you don't have to leave your house until tomorrow morning. Earlier, as we were driving around, we saw a pickup truck try to pull a smaller car out of a ditch only to get stuck itself. We also saw a tractor trailer stuck at the roundabout on the intersection of Ashland and Glory in De Pere. Some people, however, are using this snow as a way to get their exercise. They were out shoveling, trying to make it a little easier on their neighbors. One woman we spoke with said this was her first blizzard experience.
I told my girlfriend I've never imagined something I saw on the news will happen to me. Like I saw the pictures, like you can't open the door and it's like half like your height.
It's April 15th. There's supposed to be bunnies and tulips and yeah, that's not happening.
One Wisconsin police department said they wanted to arrest Mother Nature, but would drop all charges if she returned spring. Well, the roads, again, still rough, so if you don't have to go anywhere tonight, just stay home. But for now, keeping you connected live in Ashwaubenon, Max Grossfeld, NBC 26.
All right, Max, thank you. Let's take a look at some more road conditions now, as the Wisconsin DOT 511 map is showing some improvements on the roads since our 5 p.m. newscast. The eastern part of our region showing red and blue on the roads, meaning they're covered in snow and ice. And those spots that you see right there in the black, traffic officials say you can't drive on those at all. It's also been a very busy weekend for WPS workers. The company says they're in the final stages of repairing all their outages. They say they've helped more than 24,000 customers since Friday night. And if you still do see some damage near your home, WPS says you need to stay at least 25 feet away from those down power lines and also check energy meters and vents for snow piling up. And this blizzard is so strong, it's even taken down some roofs in the area. One was even in Ashwaubenon. With more on that, we're going to turn to Shane Gustafson, who's live in Ashwaubenon with the latest. Shane.
Yeah, Mo, take a look at the Econo Lodge here in Ashwaubenon. You can see the area that used to cover the pool is now sitting inside of the building because of the weight of the snow on the roof here today. Now, we're told everybody that was inside of the building was evacuated and the pool area was closed before the incident happened. Police also say nobody was injured when the roof fell. Now, another roof fell in a different part of Ashwaubenon, this time at Machine Service Inc. Now, an employee told us off camera that the business is closed on Sundays, and authorities said nobody was inside or injured when the roof fell in. Now, in both cases, the roofs had some type of leaking beforehand. Now, right now, we don't really know the extent of the damage to either of these two buildings or the 5 or 6 buildings that we've heard of in the Green Bay area where the roofs have caved in. But we do know that nobody is allowed to go back inside of these two buildings at this time. We're keeping you connected tonight live in Ashwaubenon. Shane Gustafson, NBC 26.
Shane, thank you. And the Suamico Fire Department is also reminding people to keep an eye on their furnaces tonight during the storm. They say if the snow blocks the air intake or the exhaust vent, the system will stall and shut off the furnace. The blockage can also cause carbon monoxide to get trapped inside and leak into homes, which can harm people and animals. Many schools and businesses across the viewing area will be closed tomorrow. Some of the bigger school districts are already canceled for tomorrow, include Green Bay, Appleton, Oshkosh, Wapaka, Shawano, Sturgeon Bay. Fond du Lac is also on a 2-hour delay at the moment. And for much more on school closings, the latest forecasts and road conditions, download the NBC 26 mobile app and check our website at NBC26.com. We'll still ahead on NBC 26 at 10 tonight. What's the weather going to look like for the work week? Your full forecast is next. Plus, also strong winds, rain, and freezing temperatures in Sheboygan made for a very miserable night on the roads. That's coming up after the break.
Well, what a crazy day it was. We're going to start it off with the time lapse. This morning we had some light snowfall that came through, but then it rapidly increased into practically whiteout conditions. By around 10:30 to 2 o'clock or so, that's when it really came down to only an eighth of a mile visibility to almost near zero visibility. You can tell right here. And the roads, they were pretty terrible as well. We've been seeing snowfall rates between 1 to 2, maybe near 3 inches per hour at times. It was terrible, but the good news is it's pretty much all done. Winter weather advisory still remains in effect. We could have some light blowing and drifting and an additional dusting to maybe 1.5 inches of snowfall. This advisory goes until tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock, but the crazy snow that we saw over this large duration event is pretty much done. Don't worry if you see some flakes or if you see a light dusting. It's going to be nothing compared to what we dealt with during this crazy and record-breaking blizzard. Higher resolution radar showing a little bit of some light snowfall just east of Green Bay, west of it up to the northwest of Appleton. But in terms of any decent accumulating snowfall, we're done with that. Also, what we're pretty much done with, the gusty winds. We had wind gusts near 50 miles per hour during the storm system. Now they're subsiding at about 15 to 25 miles per hour for some of us. A lot of others not really seeing much winds at all. Visibilities, if you're seeing 10 miles, that means it's very great, very good. But where you are seeing some lower visibilities like Manitowoc, Sheboygan, even up towards Green Bay, we're seeing some light snowfall moving in a little bit, on and off, but it's not going to be a big deal overnight tonight. Snowfall, where it is coming down very heavily, is to the northwest of us, towards Bayfield, Ashland, Douglas County. They have a blizzard warning that continues into tomorrow. Strong northeast winds, lakeside areas likely to have anywhere from 18 to 24 inches of snowfall, and the Duluth Superior area, they're also going to be seeing near perhaps a foot of snowfall as well. We are in a lull right now, but it's such a large and complex storm system. We got snow to the north, we got some heavy rains down to the south. There's that cold front extending all the way into the Keys, and we got a high pressure that's up to the north, pulling in cold air, and also this low pressure helping out as well to bring in some of that cold air. But in terms of snowfall totals, this storm system did its job to break some records, a lot of them. We have now 23.5 inches of snow, just a half inch below 24 inches of snowfall. Where we are from Watoma towards Oshkosh and Manitowoc, that's pretty much the borderline for having a foot of snow. And farther northward you get close to 2 feet of snowfall out of the storm system. Very impressive. The highest total in our viewing area is 30 inches in Tigerton. Well, 1/10 of an inch below it. Shiocton, 29 inches. Iola, 28.5. We also have in Lena, 22 inches of snowfall. a very large system. 67.3 inches is now our season total. Last year, we had 53.2. We average, by the time it's all said and done, 51.4 inches, but we should be seeing about 50.2 for this date. 36 inches of snow. We saw more than half of the season snowfall in the first 15 days of April. How crazy is that? 53% to be exact. And we do have a slight chance of some snowfall in addition as we get towards Wednesday night into Thursday, but it doesn't look like much. We also did tie the daily record, and this was the 7 p.m. observation. Could we have another 1/10 of an inch of additional snowfall from 7 p.m. till now? Yeah, likely. So I think we're going to be breaking this daily snowfall record as well. For the rest of the evening hours, we're anticipating some light snowfall on and off. But for the day tomorrow, pretty much we're all said and done with that terrible snow system. And probably about a dusting to an inch of additional snowfall accumulation out of the storm. Wind gusts will also be subsiding out of the north and northwest, about 15 to 20 miles per hour at times, but for the most part, not too bad. Temperatures to right now holding on into the mid and upper 20s. Yeah, it's a little bit cool outside, but we won't be dropping down by much. Overnight low of 26 degrees. Then we get into the next 3 days. We get into warmer temperatures into the upper 30s after some lower 30s tomorrow. A chance of a wintry mix Wednesday into Thursday. Then we get towards Friday, highs into the 40s, and even Sunday, high of 51 degrees. We'll take it. But tomorrow, there's a couple chances of some flurries and some passing snow showers, Mo. But at least gradual temperature trend. It's going in the right direction.
Can we just flash forward to Thursday, please?
Just sleep till Sunday.
I wish we could. All right, thank you so much, Gino. We'll still ahead on BC 26 at 10. Northeast Wisconsin, not the only place getting hit with a snowstorm. We have a look at some other communities from around the country when we come back. The city of Sheboygan was one of the Northeast Wisconsin communities hit hardest this weekend. Madeline Anderson shows you some of the road conditions people had to endure over the weekend.
Strong winds, rain, and freezing temperatures in Sheboygan made for a miserable night on the roads.
And you park for an hour and you're scraping, so there's a couple inches of thick ice.
Dan Welsh and his two sons never thought they'd have to use the window scraper on April 14th.
I would rather have to do this in January. Trust me, this is not fun, but you got to get it done, and you unfortunately got to deal with it now.
Some are dealing better than others. Earlier in the evening, emergency crews responded to these two vehicles along I-43 near Port Washington that had slid into ditches. The wintry mix in the middle of spring putting drivers on edge and catching many off guard.
Snowing, raining, hailing, everything. Wisconsin weather.
You got to be ready for anything. Doesn't matter what day it is.
And Northeast Wisconsin, not the only area getting the severe weather this weekend. An ice storm went through the Rochester, New York area last night, causing some outages and closures in the area. Today, more than 2,000 people did not have power, but it should be restored. A major bridge connecting Michigan's upper and lower peninsula partially closed due to weather. Authorities say high winds exceeding 50 miles per hour is a reason behind it. The area is expected to be hit with snow, sleet, and ice. And a blizzard warning is in effect for the Duluth, Minnesota area today as snow continues to cover the region. There'll be winds over 35 miles per hour and low visibility. Travel is expected to be impossible. And in Minneapolis, the Minnesota Twins canceling their game at Target Field for the second straight day from snow. That's going to do it for me tonight. But before we go to Sports Rewind, here's some pictures from the storm from all around the viewing area.